with your fast dance. Girl, you bound back that. I know you back that. You like to get to the bag.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here and you like the content, always like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. If you don't like me and you're not new here, or heck, even if you are new here, still like, comments, and subscribe, and turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people because you may not like me, but somebody out there does. Welcome, everyone. Before we get into it, let me finish this intro. If you want to follow me on social media, you want to buy merch, lip gloss, Amazon KDP book, you need a way to contact me for business. You want to take a look at the Amazon storefront, you would like to get me something off the Amazon wish list, you would like to donate to the fund so I can get the battery for the laptop that I work off of when I do content for the channel, as in the battery is giving out on me, then you could always, check out the wish list, which has the battery on there, or you could hit the, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal if it so pleases you to donate anything to the channel. But even if you can't donate anything, I still appreciate y'all coming up in here, like, comment, subscribe, talking back to me, watching the stuff on playback, and sharing it. So if you want to do any of that stuff, other than, like, comment, subscribe, and all that, you can find everything in the description box down below. All my social media handles, where to buy merch. Um, I believe the Amazon is still down there. It may not be, but it's okay. But where to buy merch, all my, where, how to donate, and my social media handles. But hello, everyone. Hello. We're here to talk about Bobby Womack, the king of Dirty Mackin. Shout out to my creative director, Siesta Fiesta, aka Too Feisty. If it was not for her, I wouldn't have been able to title this live to tell y'all just a little bit of tea, a little bit of scandal, a little bit of gossip during, Black Music Month. I wouldn't have been able to do it, okay? I wouldn't have been able to get it done when it came to the title, because we were on the phone. I was like, I need a title. Like, I have my thumbnail. Y'all like the thumbnail? It's giving very much Jet magazine. It's really Ranting with Ricardo magazine. Hello. But, you know, it was really trying to figure it out. It was really trying to figure it out on how to do it. So I hope y'all like the title. I hope y'all enjoy this live, and, share me with your people, and maybe you'll come back for a little something. But we will be talking about Bobby Womack, the king of Dirty Mackin, and the scandal that got him the name. So with that being said, I have shared this with the people. I shared this on Twitter. I don't know that person. I've shared this on Twitter. Hopefully, I've sent it out to the people in the DMs, and it's on the community tab. So if the people come in currently, but Kimmy Nicole is up in here. Hello, Kimmy Nicole. Yes. Please, like, on your way in. I've shared it with the people. If you come in and, say hello, be gracious. A little housekeeping: if you must curse in the chat, while I'm not about to go up for you cursing and doing all that stuff, if you must curse, please keep it as creative as possible. Please keep it as creative as possible. I have content coming out to y'all that I'm pre-recording. I just want to pre-record a lot of stuff. So when there are times where I'm not feeling up to it, there is still content coming out for y'all. And y'all don't think I just, forgot about y'all, or I don't care. I want to pre-record a whole bunch of stuff and have it coming out. That way y'all will have different things. And, I'm still here for y'all, even when I can't just be here live all the time. Love and Marriage Huntsville is tonight. Real Housewives of Atlanta is on Sunday. Kenya Moore Hair Care, the Taking a Look, will be on Monday. Tuesday is going to be Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, because they're coming back. So Tuesdays are now taken up by them. Game night is on Wednesday. I do need to make that live. Game night is going to be soundtracks to Black movies, which has, a majority of Black ensemble. And the Black people is on, the poster. So soundtracks, and then the finish the lyric will be over Black TV show theme songs. So be ready for that. I will make the live, and it'll be up possibly before Love and Marriage Huntsville tonight. And then Thursday will be Sisters and possibly some pre-records. Hopefully I'll have my pre-records all ready to go by then. Sisters, because Sisters comes on Wednesday, but game night and y'all do too much is on Wednesday, so it'll be me trying to do too much all in one day. But that is the schedule for right now. I will try to come up with a whole thing. Just be looking out for it. And with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. So the story starts as follows. Bobby Womack, this is Bobby and his family members, Bobby and his brothers and his father, and then the next picture is just Bobby and his brothers. Bobby Womack was born in 1944 in Cleveland, Ohio. He's the third out of 5 sons, so he's the third oldest. He began singing when he was very young, very much gospel. Him and his brothers had a gospel group. They were known as the Womack Brothers, and then I believe the name turned into the Valentinos. So, by the 50s, the brothers would meet Sam Cooke. And Sam would become their mentor. Well, Sam would become their mentor and their champion. And eventually, Bobby would go work for... Well, he inspired them to branch out. Let me stop skipping over stuff. They met Sam in the 1950s. I believe at the time, as I was doing all this stuff, just trying to condense it and get it all together, Sam was, gospel, a little bit of gospel, but he was doing more secular music. And when they met, he became their mentor and he was their champion and he was really going up for them. And he inspired them to branch off into secular music. So later on, Sam would hire Bobby to work for him in his band, being a guitarist. Over time, they worked together. They created like good music. And, Bobby was just getting a feel of the industry. Sam was married to his, childhood sweetheart, Barbara Cook. Okay. They met in Chicago. So they were married. They had children. I believe it was I want to say 1 to 3 daughters. I know one is going to pop up. Linda is going to pop up in this story because some of the scandal surrounds Linda. They had a daughter named Tracy. And if I'm not mistaken, they had another daughter. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they had another daughter. Yes, they had 3 children. So they didn't have a second daughter. They had 3 children. They had Linda, Tracy, and Vincent. So, Barbara and Sam had kids. Vincent passed in 1963, which then left the 2 daughters, Linda and Tracy. But Linda is very prevalent to what I'm telling y'all right now. So Sam would pass away in 1964, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. We're focusing solely on Bobby. So Bobby, wanting to, as he said, console Barbara and be there for her because he was afraid of, what she would do to herself. I believe they started up their whole shebang. And Bobby pulled up to Sam's funeral. And this has always been said. Bobby pulled up to Sam's funeral on Barbara's arm, wearing Sam's clothes, wearing Sam's shoes, and driving Sam's car. I said, not his clothes, his shoes, and his car, and his wife. Oh my God. That's like real high up there with the level of disrespect. I feel like that's very disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. I'm sorry, in my opinion, that is very disrespectful. You showed up to this man's funeral. He was your friend. He was your mentor. Really went up for you. You showed up to his funeral wearing his clothes, wearing his shoes, driving his car, and on the wife, well, not on the wife, on the arm of his wife. And if I remember correctly, I think they said he sat up front with the family. So, eventually him and Barbara tried to get married, but he was only 20 years old. They tried to get married in California, but he was only 20 years old. And back then, you needed permission if you were under 21 to get married. Like, you needed permission from your parents to get married. So they waited 3 months after Sam died and Bobby turned 21. 3 months after that, they got married. And it did not sit right with Sam's family at all. Did not sit right. One family member was quoted as in, Sam's body wasn't even cold enough before, they began their relationship, which it'll play like this will have you thinking about what I said with the family member saying that they don't believe that Sam was even cold enough before Barbara and Bobby started the relationship. This will come up later, back like in 1985, when I say something about the situation, because it then makes you think about what exactly was going on at the time. Once again, Sam Cooke's story is a whole other thing, but he was in no way like nobody's downing any of these people, just talking about what was fact and what was known and how everything played out around this time and what has been given to us from Bobby's book, historians writing about it, just different things. Sam was no like angel and he wasn't a perfect person. So, that is what it is. But a lot of people don't think that Barbara and Bobby's relationship just started like right after Sam died. They felt like it was happening before. And that's why he felt like he could show up to the funeral in his clothes, his shoes, driving his car with his wife sitting in the front. That's like how they felt at the time. And one of the people who was very vocal about this was Sam's brother, Charlie. And this comes from Bobby's book. And Bobby said this is what Charlie told him. Man, anybody else could have married Sam's wife, but Sam loved you, man. If you ever come to Chicago, and if you ever come to Chicago, I guess was a threat that was like left hanging in the air. And, Bobby said he knew what it meant. So him and Barbara packed up their little duffel bag, took a trip to Chicago, checked into a hotel. I'm going to get to what Barbara was doing. They checked into the hotel. Bobby got on the phone, called Charlie, told him he was in Chicago and what room he was in. I'm here, let's talk. And while they were waiting on, Charlie to show up, Barbara was up there loading her 32 pistol. Okay, she was putting bullets in it. She was said to have had a mean streak. So while she was in the bathroom, Charlie pulled up with the other Cook brothers. Pulled up. And as soon as Bobby opened the door, Charlie punched him. And Bobby said he was beat so bad, like that beating was so bad that he took from Charlie, that his head swelled up like a melon. His teeth like came through his lips. So I believe he like bit through his entire lip. He lost consciousness and he had a broken jaw. Barbara came out the bathroom screaming. She grabbed the toolie off the dresser. She tried to pull the trigger, but it was like a click. And the reason there was a click and nothing happened is because Bobby took the bullets out the pistol when she went into the bathroom. So eventually, Charlie and the other brothers leave. They leave. First of all, that whole situation, I mean, I don't know if there should be like a respect thing that comes from it. It's like, well, you knew what that threat meant, so you showed up to Chicago and was like, I'm here, let's talk. And I don't know if you knew that, yeah, that's exactly, it was going to be that bad. But I feel like Bobby probably had an inkling in the back of his head that said, yeah, it's going to be that bad. And Barbara, child, this is not the first time she's going to pull that 32. I feel like, ma'am, you kept that 32 on you and you know, it's not safe for women to be walking around outside by themselves. Women back then wasn't back then. It's still not now. But ooh, she was about to do some damage. And if it wasn't for Bobby realizing that, I'm gonna say this: violence is not the answer. But I think he realized what I did was messed up, and it is messed up to his family. And this guy was like, I was real life friends with him. He was my mentor. He was like a big brother to me. What I did was real life messed up. I'm just gonna have to take I'm gonna have to take it and be okay with it. I'm gonna have to take it on the chin like a man and be okay with it. And him understanding what he did, and it's like, I'm just gonna have to take this. Saved Barbara from going to jail. Saved her from going to jail. Because she was gonna hurt one of the other Cook brothers if she would have been able to. So Charlie left, the cops showed up, they saw how Bobby looked, and he said he would beat bad. They ended up arresting Charlie because they said from the way, Bobby looked, he was going to do some real time for it. And, Bobby refused to press charges and Charlie was let go. I don't know if that was the end of everything, but that's what I got. You can go check out Bobby Womack's book. It's Bobby Womack, The Midnight Mover. He is his autobiography. I'll go check that out and see what it gives. But it basically is like, me and Barbara went on to living my best life. Okay, living our best life. That's what it gave. Now, I want y'all to see these pictures that are on the screen. So, this is the Jet magazine that came out like after Bobby and Barbara got married. Mind you, Barbara was 10 years older than him. So, he was 21, she was 31. They got married March 5th, 1965. This issue of Jet came out March 18th, 1965. Barbara was quoted as saying, Sam would want it this way. Ma'am, I'm not sure if Sam would want it this way. I'm not sure if he was okay with his, friend who he mentored, who he championed, who he helped really get into the music game. If he would have been okay with y'all getting married, and I don't think he would have been okay. I don't know. I don't know the man. My mom wouldn't even thought about back then. I'm not sure how this would have played out. I'm not sure if he would have been okay with it. Barbara Cook and Bobby Womack, widow of Sam Cooke and late singer's pal, planned new life as husband and wife. That was the running headline for this Jet magazine. These are pictures of Bobby and Barbara over the years. Bobby and Barbara also had a son. Their son would pass away due to unaliving. I believe he was in his 20s when it happened. Yes, he passed away in his 20s. So, we get to the 70s, and based off, baby, we in the 70s, and based off what Bobby was telling us, this had been going on for a minute in his book. Based off what I got from the quick excerpts I was able to get from his book, this had been going on with Linda for a minute. Based on what he said, he had been creeping into Linda's room at night. And these nights were times where him and Barbara would be going back and forth and they would be arguing and would be getting into fights. And he was supposed to be, out in the living room or wherever, like writing music and playing the guitar and doing different things. Instead, he was going to Linda's room. This is Linda Cook. Later on, Linda Cook Womack, and hold your horses because I'm going to get into how she became a Womack. So in 1970, he was 26. Linda was 17, not the legal age. I don't care. She was 17 years old. She's not 18 years old. Also, she's your stepdaughter. So that's a whole other thing. I find this, I'm going to pass judgment. This was disgusting. He was in Linda's room kissing on her. They were lying in bed kissing based off what he said when this whole situation happened. I'm going to get to that point. He was lying in bed kissing on Linda, and the lights flicked on, and Barbara came in, called him a dirty fucking bastard, and asked him what he was doing with her daughter. And she told him, I'm going to kill you. Get the fuck out, or I'll kill you. And As he's getting up, trying to put on his clothes, legs being stuck in one pants leg, and he's trying to get his stuff. Linda went and got that 32, and she chased him to the garage. And as she's chasing him, because she's running after him with 32. Linda is screaming, "Don't shoot him! Don't shoot him!" I may have made it like Barbara when, yeah, not Linda. Barbara went and got the 32, and Barbara's chasing him, and he's running, and she's chasing him to the garage because he's trying to get to his car so he can take off. And from his book, he was like, he was hoping and praying he was going to make it there without anything happening, and he's trying to figure out how he got here. So Barbara's chasing him, he's running, Linda's screaming, "Don't shoot him, don't shoot him." And Barbara's like, "I'm not going to shoot him, I'm going to kill him." So Barbara ended up shooting, Bobby. She thought she killed him, but she didn't. She shot him with 32 through the door of the car, and it grazed his scalp, and it like split, like basically, you know, gave him a little lineup. That's his words, not mine. And they ended up getting divorced in 1970. And based off Bobby's words, Linda never spoke to Barbara again after that. I'm not sure how true that is. Barbara passed away in 2021. She was 85 years old. She's survived by Linda and her daughter Tracy. I'm not sure if she got remarried again. I didn't delve too deep into that. On to Linda. Linda, you know, 9 years later married his brother, and they started the group Womack, and they wrote TKO for Tindy Pendergrass. And this over here is Linda. Like, these are all pictures of Linda, and then this is Linda and Cecil. She ended up marrying Bobby's brother Cecil. And they had a whole bunch of kids together. They had a slew of kids just recently. The daughters, like, if I wouldn't say as of recent as 2023, but their daughters have a singing group together. They did an interview, I believe, with Tamron Hall. They have music out. They have they're giving very much old girl group aesthetic, big, hair, very beautiful, look like their mother. So that is how, this played out. Bobby and Barbara divorced. He ended up, I believe he got remarried again, Bobby. And then Linda ended up marrying Cecil. And low key, what I got from the book is like he kind of tried to blame Linda just a little bit, but I was like, you're the adult. You're also her stepmother. You're married to her mother. It does not matter if, I'll read this to y'all and y'all give me y'all opinions on what y'all think it gave. Let me bring it up. Give me 1 second. I need to get to the very beginning because this is how I believe the chapters opened. Yes. Here we go. I'm sorry if it's like quiet. I'm trying to get to the part of this book where he talks about it. So he says, I heard her daughter Linda behind. She was screaming, "Don't shoot me. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot." Barbara's response made me pick up the pace. "I'm not going to shoot the bastard. I'm going to kill him. No, I'm going to kill him." And he's like, I was like Jesse Owens, flying, zip out of the bedroom landing along the landing and down the stairs in one leap. I was out of the house. I had to drop on her, and then I hit the driveway in my bare feet. The sharp gravel sliced into my skin, and I sunk to my knees. Maybe I could make it to the car. It was a long shot, but the only one I got. I ducked into the garage, slammed the wooden door shut, and jammed myself against it hard. I hung on to that handle like my life depended on it. I looked around over my shoulder, and there was the Merc, all ready to rock and roll. The key, where was the key? on the counter, in the kitchen, or in the ignition. Barbara had caught up. Now she was on the other side of the door, tugging and twisting at the handle, trying to rattle the thing off the hinges. I gripped that handle real tight. I couldn't get to the car now if I wanted to. Come, come on, you bastard, she screamed. Are you going to open up? I didn't have time to answer, and she shot me. Barbara put one of those 32 slugs right across my scalp. The bullet ripped through the door and parted my hair just like a barber might, nice and neat, except this time it was on the right and faster, much faster. As the bullet whistled past, it felt like a bird, its wing gently clipping me, and then it punched a mighty hole in the garage wall opposite. A roar suddenly exploded, filling my ears, and when there was no room left to fill, the noise leaked into my skull and beat up on beat up on my mind. She shot me. Oh man, my wife had shot me. Can you believe it? Did I deserve it? Yeah, maybe, but shot. I stared at the splintered hole in the door and put a hand, I was shaking like a daisy in a hurricane, to my temple. There was a trickle of warm, sticky blood, but it was just a graze. Lucky? Yeah, but for how long? There were 5 more bullets in that cylinder. My legs turned to jelly, and I felt the blood drop like a stone on the concrete floor and played dead. The yelling had stopped. It was quiet. Time stopped. I played back the last few minutes in my head. It seems hours since I had crept into my stepdaughter's room. Little Linda, just a kid, a teenager, just she called me daddy. I got up like I did most nights. Now me and Barbara were at each other's throats, supposed to be writing a song, strumming my guitar, but actually in Linda's room, in her bed. I'm lying there kissing Linda, and the lights come on. You dirty fucking bastard. What are you doing with my daughter? It was Barbara. She told me, I'm going to kill you. Get the fuck out or I will kill you. That's when she went to fetch that 32 with the deadly kick. And if someone is about to put a gun to your head, you get the hell up and out of there. So now I was lying in the oil spills on the garage floor. I was scared shitless, and I knew I had done something wrong, terribly wrong. I had let this girl run on me, and I had let my dick speak for my conscience, but the dick has no conscience. This was the worst part of my life. I never did it to hurt Barbara and didn't do it to hurt Linda. I just couldn't be everything everyone wanted me to be and still be Bobby Womack. Now I thought I was going to die. I pressed my cheek against a cool slab. A drop of blood, maybe sweat, maybe both, eased out from under my hairline and slowly inched down my forehead, dripped to my nose, slid along a piece, and then and mixed with the oil and petrol. The door handle twisted, the door banged open, and Barbara stepped in view. I squeezed one eye shut. From the other, I could see Barbara, her legs and her right arm, and the gun still hanging from the end of it, and it was pointing at me. She looked ready to finish the job. For a moment, all I could hear was her breathing. I held my breath. Linda, paced behind, stepped up to me. Oh my God, she screamed. Oh my God, you've killed him. That shocked Barbara. God, I shot him. I heard her mumble. Dear God. She turned and ran back to the house. Maybe she was going to call the ambulance. I jumped up and started running again down the drive to the bottom of the hill below the house. I bumped into cops scoping the neighborhood for house breakers and other likely fuck ups. They got one. I was standing down there in my shorts and nothing else. What's going on? Asked one cop. Man, I told him my wife just shot me. I should be dead. I felt like I might as well be. My friend and mentor Sam Cook was dead. My wife Sam's widow had just tried to kill me and was about to leave me. And Linda, my lover, the girl I was supposedly destined to marry, she's hitched up with my brother and never spoke to her mother again. That was all really fucked up, and it wasn't about to get any better. So that's what he said. I got a feeling like you tried to make it seem like the girl ran game on you, and in reality, you were the adult in the situation. She had just lost her father, and she probably clinged to you. Once again, I don't know these people, but if y'all want to read more of his book, it is on Amazon. So Linda married Cecil, Barbara and Bobby divorced. And then in 1985, because a lot of people didn't know what happened back then or didn't know the story of this entire situation of possibly, allegedly, and some people's opinions was messing around with Barbara before Sam passed away. You pulled up to Sam's funeral in his car, in his clothes, his shoes, with Barbara on your arm, sat in the front row. Tried to marry Barbara when you were 20, but ended up marrying her 3 months later when you were 21. Went to Chicago, got beat up by Sam's brother, like badly. And, because you didn't press charges, the brother didn't go to jail. And then eventually, 5 years later, you and your stepdaughter, because that's what she was, you were, I wouldn't call it an affair. I would call it something that was just utterly, utterly wrong. And your wife shot you. So that was 1970. They're divorced. 1985 rolls around and he puts out a song called I Wish He Didn't Trust Me So Much. But because no one knew what happened 15 years earlier, no one was like really paying attention to, oh, this parallels real life. Like, this is, real life. Like, real life, real life. No one knew about it, so no one was like, oh yeah, that's what happened. For the people who were in the know and in the inner circle, they knew, but for the rest of the world, it's like, oh, okay. But now, this has come around so many times that it's just like, this wasn't right whatsoever. I'm gonna read y'all some of these lyrics and then I'm gonna head up out of here. I'm the best friend he's got. I give him the shirt off my back. He knows he can trust me with his life, but he's trying to leave me alone. Leaves me alone with his wife. I wish he didn't trust me so much. I think he really trusts me too much. How can he be so blind? We've both got the same good taste. He should know when he's gone on his business trips, I can't help watching his woman because I'm losing my grip. I wish he didn't trust me so much. I think he really trusts me too much. Though I swear all is not my will, but there's a way she makes me feel. Lord, I'm scared, so scared of what I do if she starts feeling the same way too. So this is kind of speaking to what I believe possibly was going on at the time, and back then. And he just finally put, pen to paper and the words came out and it became lyrics to a song. And, every now and then it makes its resurgence around, different social media platforms and people do they think pieces. And like me, I made a video about it. But, and that's this little clip from the video, because the video for I wish he didn't trust me so much was actually Bobby in the studio singing. That was the video. Videos were a very big thing back in 1985, like in the 80s. That's like when we really started to get videos. And, like I said, Barbara passed away in 1985. Sam passed away in 1964. Bobby passed away in 2014. Barbara passed away in 2021. And Linda is still living to this day. She's in her 70s. Her and Cecil, from what I saw, may be divorced at this point in time, but their daughters are out making music. And, that is the story of Bobby Womack, the king of Dirty Mackin, and how he got his title. I think that ultimately this was a story of music scandal, some how can I say this, illegalities going on, and people, clinging to one another because they lost someone. And instead of, because maybe therapy wasn't therapy wasn't really prevalent back then for someone to be sitting down with a therapist, especially in the Black community. I think a lot of this could have just been, wouldn't have happened if people were sitting down and actually talking to therapists about how they felt and what was going on. Other people went off to lead long lives. I hope that what Bobby said wasn't true. I hope that Linda and Barbara did at least speak at some point in time before Barbara passed away, because Barbara was the only parent Linda actually had left. But, that was it. Bobby Womack, the king of Dirty Mackin, and the story that tells it all. If y'all want to go get his book and read his entire autobiography, it is on Amazon. Bobby Womack, The Midnight Mover, and then Linda Cook Womack. I don't know if she's still going by Womack, but Linda Cook. Her daughters are singers, 3 of them. They're in a group Go check them out. And with that being said, that was it. That was all. I don't have no more to give y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all learned something new. And if you didn't, that's okay. And if you did, cool. Whether you're here live or catching it on a playback, please like, comment, subscribe to me, and post notifications on and share me with your people. Whether you like me or not, it doesn't matter because I still appreciate a hate watch and a hate like. It both do the same thing I need them to do. And, you know, all my information is in the description box down below, scrolling across the bottom of the screen and in the community tab. And I will be back at 8:05 for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So with that being said, that was it. That was all. I don't have more to give y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.